Many enzymes end in their name.
First day at a new school can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're supposed to be the teacher. Biology and AP Environmental Science teacher Peter Stenross knows the feeling, yet rises to the challenge of winning his new students over.
Mr. Stenross, he's a really nice teacher. He can really get involved with you. He kind of, like if you need help, he'll come up to you personally and kind of help with all your, any questions you may have, just, I don't know, and like, he really just kind of cares about you. You can really tell with his teaching.
Fitting in with high schoolers is tricky, but teaching them might be even harder. Thankfully, already having experience as a science teacher at Faribault High School sure can help, along with another interestingly previous career.
So I studied marine biology and aquaculture in college, and when I graduated, the only jobs in ornamental aquaculture were in Florida, and I wasn't quite ready to move from Maine to Florida. And so one day I was fishing at the docks and pulled the number for a lobster boat, and 2 years later I was working as a lobsterman. So did that for a couple of years, but knew that it wasn't a passion of mine, so I ended up going back to grad school to get my teaching certification and master's.
All right, and
yeah.
Then obviously the love for marine biology got you into environmental?
Yeah, so I've always been passionate about environmental science. I had previously taught for the last 8 years down in Faribault. I taught AP biology, and physical science down there, and came up here, and I'm now teaching 4 sections of bio and 1 section of AP environmental science. So yeah, it's being out in nature, getting students passionate about nature has always been a passion of mine.
Yeah. At your previous school, you also helped with the robotics team and the science team.
Yep.
Is there any clubs that interest you here, or you might want to start your own?
Well, so there's 2 that are kind of on the top of my list. I'd love to start either like an aquarium or an aquaculture club, or Stillwater had a pretty competitive science team right up until, I believe, 2019 was the last year that they competed. And so bringing back the science team and Science Olympiad would be something that I think would be priority number 1 for Stillwater.
Lastly, what are you most excited about or experiencing here at Stillwater Area High School?
The size, the number of opportunities if students are willing to kind of not really search them out, but there's a little bit of something for everybody here, which is not something you always get at a smaller school. And so the sheer number of clubs, the way that students can feel a part of something, I think is important. And that's something that is a huge change from the previous school that I'm coming from.
Also, one thing I want to bring up, at your old school, you had a lot of comments like, you were the best teacher ever, like, I love you so much.
Yeah.
What about your teaching style do you think makes you really special?
I don't really have an answer to that. It's something that I had taught there for 8 years, so it's something that takes time. I hope to eventually get to that kind of point here. But really just bringing in being passionate about the subject that you're teaching, I think is important, and that kind of carries over to the students as well.
It is a necessity that ties us all together, and although it's important, it may not be a striking subject for all students. However, thanks to Mr. Stenross, Junior Ben Myers has claimed to tremendously enjoy learning about it.
Would you, I guess, recommend him to other students, even if they aren't interested in science or anything like that?
For sure. I think it'd always be fun to have a nice teacher like that instead of, I don't know, someone who's just always stern and really strict. Nice little break, gives you a lot of like brain breaks and really nice to you.
AP courses aren't for the faint of heart. Luckily for senior Eve Pagan, she has Mr. Stenross to help guide her and her classmates through the journey, while making it fun and engaging along the way.
Why did you take AP Environmental Science?
I took AP Environmental Science because, well, it's something I really want to major in college, and I just want to like have a fun class where like we could do like a lot of field trips and like actual like field work with it, and like I think that's something that's a lot like very different than like a lot of other classes, and so I wanted to do more like hands-on stuff and just kind of like prepare myself for college.
Being it is an AP class, it probably comes with a lot of work.
Yeah.
How do you handle that, and does Mr. Stenross
help you with it? Does he help students? Does he help lighten the load? Does he explain things easily?
He's a really good teacher. Like, I was definitely like skeptical going into the year because, you know, like he had like big shoes to fill with like Mr. Weaver, but I've come to like really like him. Like, he's very like he like evens out like how much homework we have through the week. Like, even if it's a lot, like he makes sure, like literally last week when it was homecoming, he was like, we're gonna do a lot of work this week so that over the weekend you don't have any homework at all. Like, he's very good about that. And definitely sometimes there is like you have to put in work, and there's some assignments that take like 2 hours maybe, but you know, you just have to like, I expected that because it is an AP class, but he's very good at like making sure it's not too much, and he's always there to help also.
Yeah. How does he help engage you guys in class? Is it through hands-on, fun presentations?
We usually do presentations. We go through like notes, slides and stuff, but like he's good at like being engaging with the way he talks and like interacting. And then like if we're doing like work time and you don't like understand a concept, like he'll come over and he'll always like help you and be like engaging and like explain it in a good way, which is nice.
All right, finally, would you recommend him as a teacher to anyone, even if they don't like science?
I would recommend it, because even if you don't like science, like I think he would make it like fun and like easy to learn almost. Like it's a very like it's a fun class, and like I said, like he makes it so that I feel like anyone could like learn it, and it's like inclusive, and it's just like fun to be able to do like hands-on things. And like yesterday we just went on a little field trip, and like anyone would like think that's fun, so I definitely would recommend it.
From the new kid in school to everyone's favorite addition to the science department, Mr. Stenross plans to continue enriching young minds of the wonders of biology and the environment around us. No matter how much experience you've had, we can always learn something new from each other.